Good afternoon. I hope everyone is doing fine. Welcome to our music lesson. And in our today's lesson, we'll be learning about composing of rhythm. Composing of rhythm. And first, let's see what is rhythm. What is rhythm? So, rhythm is the measured flow of words and phrases in verse or pause. That measured flow of words and phrases in verse or pause when someone is singing, that is rhythm. Or we can also say that is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sounds. So that is what is rhythm. Now, for a learner to understand and be able to write rhythmic patterns dictated, the learner needs to follow the following tips. For that learner to be able to write rhythmic patterns dictated, the learner needs to follow the following tips. And the first tip is that the learner is supposed to establish the beat of the rhythmic patterns. The learner is to establish the beat of the rhythmic pattern. And when we talk about the beat, we are talking about is it crochet, is it minim? So establish the beat, and the beat will establish it by studying or sight reading the time signature which you have been given. The second part is the learner has to clap or tap the full rhythm before she or he starts writing. Clap or tap the full rhythm before you start writing it down. And the third part, the learner has to break down the rhythmic patterns into bars and write one bar at a time while clapping the whole rhythmic patterns. And lastly, the learner has to clap through the rhythmic patterns you have or she has written to check if it conforms to the rhythmic or to the rhythm dictated. So those are some of the areas the learner has to understand before writing the rhythmic patterns dictated. Now, after the learner is able to understand and write rhythmic patterns which has been dictated through the steps or tips which we have discussed, the 4 tips, the learner is required or the learner is needed to come up with his or her own rhythmic patterns. So that comes in creating of rhythmic pattern. When you create, you come up with something new which has never existed in music. So this learner has to follow some qualities when creating his or her own rhythmic pattern. And that one takes us to qualities of a good rhythmic pattern. Qualities of a good rhythmic pattern. And the first quality is the quality of balancedness. So a good rhythmic pattern should be balanced. And when we talk about this quality, we mean that in each of the 4 bars should have notes adding up equally as per the time signature given or selected in simple time. Remember, we are working with a 4-bar rhythmic pattern. So we are going to have 4 bars. So in each bar, you make sure that we have equal number of notes as indicated under the time signature. As you can see, one of the example that I have worked on there, look at it very keenly, you find that here we are using the treble clef or the G staff. Then our time signature is 3/4. The time signature is 3/4. Now we have 4 bars. We can have the first bar, second bar, third, and fourth. Now we have been told that we are supposed to balance each bar. When we balance each bar, our time signature is telling us that in each bar, we are supposed to have 3 crochet beats. As you can see in the first bar, we have 3. We have 1 crochet and 2 and a minimum which has 2 beats of a crochet. Go to the second bar, the same, the third bar, the same, and the fourth bar, the same. So when we talk about balancedness of the rhythmic pattern, that's what we are referring to. And the second quality of a good rhythmic pattern is that the rhythmic pattern should be unique. The uniqueness of the rhythmic pattern. So as a learner, be as creative as possible and make sure that you explore the different note values that you have so far learned to bring in new ideas. Remember, from grade 4, we have been learning different note values, note symbols. So under the uniqueness of the rhythmic pattern, we are being told that make sure that in your rhythmic pattern you incorporate different note values. And when we talk about values, I hope you understand what we are referring to. So check the example which I have used there. You can see under my example, we are using the treble staff, and the time signature we have been given there is 3/4. So let me not go there. Let's check on the uniqueness. You find that in the first bar, I have used minimum and crochet. The second bar, I have used quiver and crochet, and the third bar I have used dotted minimum. The fourth bar I have used semi-quiver and crochet. So you can see there I have not used in my rhythmic pattern crochets only from the first bar to the last bar. I have incorporated other note values. So you find that a minimum has 2 beats of a crochet. So that is the note value, different from the others. You find here we have quiver and we have crochet. The values are different. The note values are different. Here we have a dotted minimum. The value there is also different. So make sure you use uniqueness when you are creating these rhythmic patterns. And uniqueness, you are incorporating different note values. And the third quality of a good rhythmic pattern, let's discuss about the simplicity of the rhythm. The rhythm should be simple. So when we talk about simplicity, the rhythm should be easily performed, interpreted, and memorable. It should be easily performed, interpreted, and memorable. So here we are being told to use simple note values. Use symbol note values. Let's go to the example which I have used here so that we can elaborate on this quality. Now, as you can see on my example, the time is 2/4. The treble, the clef or the staff is under the treble. Now, check in the first bar. The first bar I have used a minimum, and a minimum has two beats. So those are 2 beats of a crochet. So if you are clapping or tapping to that bar, it will be easy for you. Same to the second bar and third and fourth bar. So that's how you make your rhythm simple. It's very easy for you to read or sight read it and perform it and interpret it. Then that's how just supposed to be. The simplicity of the rhythm. Use notes that are very simple to perform, easily interpreted, so that when you are performing it, when you are tapping or clapping to it, it will be easy for you to do it. And the fourth and the last quality of a good rhythmic pattern is variety. So variety, we use different notes, tied notes, dotted notes, and rest to make the pattern more interesting. So, and remember, the variety of the notes that you are using must add up to the time signature that you have been given, or the one that you have selected when creating your own rhythmic pattern. So that means that anytime you are creating your own rhythmic pattern, you must have, or you must come up with the time signature, and that one is going to guide you in the placement of these note values in each bar, because we are dealing with a 4-bar rhythmic pattern. So let's check on the example that I have used here to deal with the variety part of the quality. So you can see the time signature that I have selected here is 3/4. 3/4, that means in each bar we are going to have 3 bits or 3 values, and that means in each bar 3 bits of a crochet. As you can see, the first bar I have used a variety of notes there, and rest I have used a rest which is a crochet, then as a note symbol of a minimum. The second bar I have used a dotted crochet, and that dot stands for quiver, and also note symbol for quiver and a crochet. The third bar I have used a dotted minimum, that means those are 3 bits of a crochet. And the last bar I have used a rest for a quiver, which are tied together. That means that when you are performing them, you perform them at the same time. And then also in the same bar I have used note symbol for the 2 crochets, so that adds up to the 3 bits in that bar. So that's all about variety. So if you have not subscribed to our channel, you are missing a lot. I urge you to do so. Click on the subscription bell, and it will be, you will have done all. If you have any query, leave it under the comment section. And if there's any part in music you want us to discuss, also I'll urge you to write to me under the comment section. When I get it, it will be the first part for me to react on. So remember, the work that we have been learning is of that of grade 8, qualities of a good rhythm and composing of rhythm, grade 8 work. So be blessed.